It's time for the Warm-Ups Weekly NFL Injury Report with American Orthopedic and Sports Medicine's Dr. Steven Stoller. Visit them online at drstoller.com.
All right, 24 past the 1 o'clock hour. It's a Thursday as we welcome in, as we do every week, Dr. Steven Stoller, kind enough to join us as we take a look around some NFL injuries that I think are somewhat significant, of course, from the American Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Joining us for a couple of minutes. How you been, Doc?
I'm good. How are you, Rich?
I'm doing well. Let's get right into it. We'll start with the Giants and wideout Victor Cruz. Had that huge catch last week to set up a touchdown against the Eagles. Now for the Giants, nursing a low-grade ankle sprain. Now, I'm just wondering, the chances of him playing Monday night against Cincinnati, I mean, is this something where they can tape it up and just throw him out there? Because we know he had some injuries before.
I think so. I mean, especially if it's low grade. That usually means that's one of the two major ligaments, and there's a little bit of swelling. They should be, if he's taped up well, he'll do fine. If he has any difficulty, it will be with cutting. Okay. Otherwise, he'll play well.
It's kind of the theme with some of these ankles. Marcus Mariota, the Titans quarterback, dealing with an ankle injury. I'm not sure if it's a high ankle sprain or not. He's questionable for Sunday's game. And again, is this kind of what we're going on? What you just said on Cruz? I mean, it could be a situation. I mean, if it's high ankle, maybe a little different.
Oh yeah, that's a different ligament altogether, and that takes a long time to heal. The question is with Marcus Mariota is that I don't know if it's his right or left ankle. If it's his right ankle, that could alter his throwing mechanics. If it's his left ankle, I don't think it would be a problem. I mean, he could play either way when they tape him. But again, you get your power from your right leg, planting your right leg and throwing if you're right-handed. So I think that would make the difference, is which ankle it is and how accurate he can throw.
That's a good point. Again, a couple minutes with Dr. Steven Stoller, our weekly NFL injury report from the American Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Of course, you guys can book an appointment, 201-261-2000, getting those weekend warriors back on track. Some great information online on the website, drstoller.com. Let's save Kelsey for last. Let's go to Micah Hyde. The Packers safety, shoulder injury against the Colts, did not return. His status is up in the air for the game against the Titans. And we've talked about this in the past with some of these defensive backs, whether, the shoulder, the rotator. I mean, if it's lower body, then maybe an issue. But people have to realize you got to cover, you got to turn, you got to twist, you got to, tweak your body around, and then you got to tackle. So with a shoulder injury, I'm just wondering if that is more of a issue with pain, like what kind of pain threshold he might have.
Well, the reports do not indicate any specific injury. I have no reports of X-rays, MRIs, or even which shoulder it is. So the possibilities are that he could have a shoulder separation, and that goes through, grades 1 to 7. If it's a grade 1, 10 days, and he can probably play. If he has a tear in the ligament, it depends on how bad it is. And if he has a fractured clavicle, of course, he wouldn't be able to play. But if he has a sprain and even some instability, which he had prior to this, and maybe aggravated, they do have braces that he can wear underneath his shoulder pads that will limit his range of motion and stabilize it. So if that's what he has, he can play. If he has a minor separation, he could play. So I can't say much more, until I really know what it is. And I'm surprised, it's really not listed anywhere.
Not specific, yeah.
Yeah.
Last one for you, and it's kind of a big one in our backyard with the Eagles and center Jason Kelsey. Now, we've talked about this before. He's dealing with the plantar fasciitis, and it really seems to be hindering his leverage, his ability to get off the line of scrimmage. I mean, there were a couple plays where you're basically almost asking him to pull a little bit and open up a block, and it just seems as though he really can't get any of that type of leverage with his legs, with that foot. I'm just wondering, when dealing with this type of issue, is this something where he just flat out needs rest, and he shouldn't even be putting any type of pressure on it or weight on it?
That No, I would say no, because
Okay.
in order for you to rest, you'd have to be on crutches, non-weight bearing for a long time. And look, this is a common injury that's seen in every orthopedist office all the time, and they're treated with, it's a heel spur, and it's treated with a heel cup. You could be put in a night splint, which stretches the plantar fascia, while he's sleeping. He could certainly be injected with cortisone. That probably will work right away. And if he's worried about the cortisone, having a long-lasting effect, we can inject him with PRP, which is protein-rich plasma.
Mm-hmm.
And at the most, he can have an endoscopic release of the plantar fascia, which it's like a nick in the skin. It's really minimally invasive. Yeah, he would probably need 2 to 3 weeks off, and that would be it. But I wouldn't do anything without what I just mentioned, and he shouldn't be in that much pain. At the very least, inject him with a long-acting lidocaine. I don't think he's going to do much harm if he has, a heel cup and he's taped and, anti-inflammatory medication. And, he should be fine. I don't see any long-term
Yeah, it's tough because he's
with it.
playing the center possession. He's gutted it out. He struggled a little bit. They already lose Lane Johnson with that tackle position, so it puts a little more stress on the center, especially in regards with some of the calls that are being, some of the plays that are being designed up for the Eagles. I'm finding, too, as we kind of start to close it out, November now, I'm seeing kind of nicks and bruises with a lot of these players, lower extremities, some the ankles injuries, as you alluded to. I'm just wondering, too, when that weather starts to get a lot colder, of course, where we are along the East Coast, you really got to watch out for those tendons, when a player's got that hamstring injury or a pull or a groin. I mean, when that weather starts to get colder, that's kind of when you got to be a little wary with some of these injuries.
Well, not only weary, but they've played a season, and they're all, look, this is football. They're all nicked up, and they have a lot of, areas that are going to get inflamed and start, getting aggravated with the decrease in temperature and the increase in, playing and getting hit. And that's what gets the teams to the playoffs, so the players that can play through it, or the players that are fortunate not to get that injured, so they can play at their maximum level.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. All right, your Jets faltered last week. How about this weekend?
I look at the Jets, and I'm just bewildered. I'm bewildered that Dallas did not pick up Richardson for a first-round pick. I mean, that is, to me, a no-brainer for Dallas. But they didn't, and so we have some of the best players on the line. We have up-and-coming wide receivers. We don't have a quarterback. The team's falling apart. It looks like they just have like a malaise, and I guess I'm gonna have to blame that on the coaching.
Sometimes you have to when you lose a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think that when you lose the locker room, and I think that that's probably what's going on. And they're also they're not playing well on offense, not playing well on defense, not playing well on special teams, and they're really not making great adjustments for the new players or injuries. So I have to blame the coaching, and God, I mean, I've been watching the coaches change since they were on the Polo Grounds. So, can we just get one in for a while?
Well, they'll have a chance to turn it around against the Rams. And again, of course, Dr. Steven Stoller. Check him out online, drstoller.com, the American Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Don't need an appointment. You can certainly book one at 201-261-2000. Some great patient education, testimonials, videos, a lot of information online as well. And certainly they'll get you back out on the field as quickly as possible. Doc, enjoy it this weekend, and look forward to it, pal. We'll talk next week.
All
right,
Bye,
you
Red.
got it.